Well,
Go ahead. That's fine.
okay.
That's fine.
And, what I want to start off, I want to ask you this, Dr. Bagley.
Uh-huh.
In many type of relationships, either the woman or the male, someone did something wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we get back together and one person says, I forgive you.
Mm-hmm.
What's one of the main problems after you forgive someone? Because that's somewhat what happened with us, why we separated, right?
Sort of, kind of, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's the forgetting part. So you can forgive, which is the emotional state, if you will, the state of mind of forgiveness, especially Christians, religion, I should say, as a whole. But at the same time, it's the forgetting part about it.
You can't forget, though.
No, you won't forget.
So why do people always say that? And they say it like it's a negative. I forgive you, but I'm not going to forget.
Right.
Can we really make our minds forget something? That's a process.
Right, and you won't forget. Now, what you will do is add on top of that pain or that trauma or whatever, good memories and good memories and good memories. But you have to keep in mind that triggers is always there. Trust, insecurities, those things will be triggered as soon as something relatable comes to fruition from the thing that caused it.
Whether it's a marriage, someone cheated on each other.
Okay.
Whether it's a business and somebody did something to cause that person not to trust them.
Right.
Okay. What happens if that person is going to continually bring it up in that relationship? And I happen to know some couples who have been together for years, and one person cheated, and they both for years are living these miserable lives because they got back together, but they didn't get rid of the problem. And somebody's still the victim, and someone's still the villain. Are you going to have a good relationship with a villain and a victim?
Not if you're calling them a villain, first of all, no.
Right, see? Right.
So the idea is this. There's a forgiveness aspect. That's why they're together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The remembrance aspect is not necessarily, she's not embarking, or the person who happened, the cause effect, the affecting person. It's not like they're remembering it over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that. It's the trust factor is when they're together and then there's no trust. And I've always said when there's no trust in business or relationship, there is no relationship.
No, there isn't.
But in a marriage point of view, its obligation supersedes the trust a lot of times.
In marriage,
yes,
can't be friends.
I didn't say we're not talking about they can't be friends. We're saying that obligation supersedes everything.
Well, can't the obligation to have a healthy home, to have a healthy relationship, can't that be an obligation?
That was the goal before the person cheated.
But in order for forgiveness to take place, don't you have to go back to that goal?
Yes,
or what's the point?
But you can't go back to the goal once trust is brought to the forefront.
Okay.
The lack of trust.
See, and this is what that's okay. When we first got back together.
But us relations.
It don't matter. I'm talking about business and everything.
No.
We still had to get through forgiveness. We still had to get back to trust, or we wouldn't have got back to this place. Am I correct? And it was a process.
But keep in mind.
Of course, it's not as serious as marriage. I know that. I'm not that naive.
But keep in mind.
Same principle.
There's a motive behind us getting back together. This.
Right.
Okay.
And there's a motive between couples staying together.
Which is the kids. Which is the kids and the family. But that's called obligation. It doesn't. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's still the same concept.
Why? Especially the person who did wrong, they can't go to that person who's the victim and say, you just need to get over it. No, I'm not talking about that. But I'm saying going through the necessary process to make sure that you have a healthy environment. That should be a part of the obligation.
It should be. But in the first stages of healing, you have to deal with not the issue at hand, because even though that's the cause of it, the effect of it is the distrust in the relationship, and that is what has to be healed.
Right.
And so while couples,
but don't stay there for 20 years.
But sometimes,
at that stage.
But sometimes it might have to. And all I'm saying is, because here's the thing.
What a waste of life.
No, it's not a waste of life.
It is,
it's like the person who was cheated on. How do we not know through their developing their relationships, past tense, those guys cheated on her?
Well, she traumatized that.
Okay. Oh, so that's what we're dealing with. That's exactly what I'm saying. It is not as easy or simple as simply saying, all right, forgive, let's build a trust factor, because in context, the trust factor, or the lack of trusting in a relationship could extend past his or her act to each other. And the obligation of itself, even though it's as painful as it is for the person who had the trauma against, or the cheating on, as painful as it is, obligation says you got to stay there in this relationship. And that's what we know as called as sacrifice. It's better to sacrifice to be together than to sacrifice my happiness, and we separate and our kids has single parents now. In relationships, marriage, when you dating and you're going through that process, you're going through a process of eliminating of such in content of saying, I can deal with this or I can't deal with this. I may find a beautiful woman out there and she might be 100% everything I need, but if she smokes, no.
Oh, come on now.
No.
What are we talking about? Getting into smoking and not smoking?
No. That's what we're saying. A lot of relationships get together when there are red flags within it in the very beginning.
Well,
and then you add on top of that. See, trust is an issue that needs to be dealt with from the very beginning. And a lot of people get together with stuff that we're hoping that after we get together and after they know me, that they can handle or deal with the true issue at hand.
Back to my point.
And trust has been violated at that level starting. And then let's now have kids. Okay. And then let's now add, oh, by the way, somebody cheated on somebody. Oh, by the way, somebody lost their job and there's no money coming in. Oh, but they love each other.
Okay. I'm going to try to get back to my original question.
Forgiveness is everything all throughout that whole thing. The act of sex, a lot of times, is the end result of something that's been going on.
Flirting. It started off with flirting.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Always.
Working, everybody knows majority of cheating happens at a workplace, and the flirting. And so all of that is fun. And everybody says flirt. Oh, we're just having fun. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Fun gonna turn into free.
But that fun in context, it is fun to the individuals because of various different reasons. But as soon as
hunger for attention,
right? It could be for hunger for attention. It could be for a guy. It's the animalistic, the conquer and destroy point of view, and vice versa. It could be the woman. My man is not giving me the emotional attention as this guy is at work. Okay, so it could be the various things, but when you find yourself in those environments, that's the cheating part.
Yeah, you've already started cheating.
It's already done.
You've already started.
So in contents, that's what I'm saying to you is the forgiveness is not that simple of saying, I found out you cheated on me. You had sex with another person. It's not that simple. Get to the core. You got to get to the core. And the core is what caused that long process of you getting to that sex part.
Well, and this
now,
is
biblically. That you brought out biblically, there's two biblical point of views I want to bring out in this. For you spiritual persons out there, It says, and please forgive me for not knowing the actual scriptures, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but I promise you it is in there.
Keep it right.
Husbands, be of the world to learn how to please your mate, your wife, and wives, be of the world to learn how to please your husband, and single people, be holy, mind, body, and soul to please God. So in content, holy biblical people are not pleasing their mates. Mm-hmm. And whose fault is that? Because scripture clearly says, be of this world to please your mate. And I'm paraphrasing. So in context, you who go to church get a man or a woman who likes dancing, and you say, oh, we can't go to clubs no more. Why? It's you and them going dancing, coming back home together, not playing around with nobody else, have fun, and whatever. But see, that's the problem with 56 plus marriages in Christianity end up in divorce.
Because they won't dance? Because
they won't please each other.
Okay.
That's one. Two, Proverbs 31 clearly says, through a woman's point of view, man, husband, trust your wives so you don't have need to, and you can put in whatever you want to put in. But the fact is, when the man doesn't trust a woman, and I'm not saying that the act of sex, I'm talking about flirtations, I'm talking about social, I'm talking about all of those. I don't trust my wife when I go to work point of view. When that doesn't happen, it is her who is making him go outside that house. And that's not man's point of view. And man didn't even write that. It was a woman who wrote that. Proverbs 31. Oh. Thank you very much. So,
hold on, you might have to do a pause.
There ain't no pause. Go ahead, I'll pause right now.
Especially married women and married men on social media. Why would you have a provocative picture as your profile picture if you married or in a relationship?
Because
you want attention. You trying to get another kind of attention.
Because growing
That's
up,
obvious.
No, because growing up, mama taught the child how to get a man.
Hold on. I'm saying these are people, this is a woman who has a man,
yes,
and a man who has a woman.
Okay.
Why do you have to have a provocative
you're not getting it.
Profile?
You're not getting it.
You trying to get more attention.
Thank you.
You ain't trying to get it from
That's
what I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
Let's just keep it real, people.
That's all I'm saying.
You ain't putting
no
type of picture on your profile picture
to the point,
for your husband or for your wife.
To the point.
That's for somebody else. That's flirting. And that is cheating to a certain degree.
That is, there is not a certain degree.
Then you doing some secret stuff. Come on now.
No.
If your husband can't pick up your phone, if your wife can't pick up your phone.
And know your passwords. All of them.
And go through your stuff. But I know it's slick stuff out there. I found that out. There's some slick ones. They be having all these little apps and they can have all these secret accounts. This is the thing when it comes to trust.
There's no trust.
You can't stop a person from cheating if you can look at their phones, unless you're going to have them sitting on your side 24 hours a day. If a person wants to cheat, they will cheat.
And see here,
bottom line.
And here's the reason. They're not happy with home.
Well, but a whorish person can have a real happy home. I say the average man, but some men and women are just.
Let's look at let's look at scientific point of view and fact.
There's not some people that would still do it even if they had happy homes. There are some people that have this type of appetite. I say the majority of the people I think have issues, but I said there are a few out there.
No, and you're absolutely right. Those guys do have a healthy appetite, but at the same
healthy, no, they healthy, sick,
whatever. But at the same time, you have to understand the relationship, the boundaries of that relationship with the woman who accepted this man who had a healthy appetite.
I agree.
Because when she got together on the third night, she found out how healthy that was. And so she got involved in this relationship, got involved in this relationship, and she found out she couldn't keep up, or it just wasn't pleasant anymore. or it could be various other reasons behind it. But see, sex is a small part of a relationship. Emotion is the issue at hand. When I feel that you don't love me, when I feel that I don't trust you, when I feel, that's when feeling, which is the thought process, which is the thought making the body react to that feeling, that's when we have issues.
Ooh, okay.
Now, let's go back. I think we were going back. Social media. All right. So social media is a communication. It's communication. It's a different format of communication.
And it could be such a good communication tool, and it can be a pretty bad one too. So,
but communication is, social media is the same argument as guns. Guns do not kill people.
Right. It's what you do with
people. Kill people.
Right.
And they utilize the gun to kill.
Exactly.
So social media is the same argument in content, meaning social media didn't cause my mate to cheat.
No, it didn't. It was just a means.
It was right. And so that's what we have to keep
and the
in
cheating
mind.
already started here.
And
whether you cheat through social media, whether you cheat through meeting somebody at the gym or the grocery store, at the gas station.
Right. And I only said that because there are a lot of people on social media, and I don't want them to start thinking that, oh my gosh, my wife is now social media cheating on me.
But I'm gonna tell you,
there are a lot of them who are.
If she got a Vixen picture,
a lot of them are not.
If she got one of these pictures, Vixen picture,
if they look like. Saying when they get to me, it's to that stage, to that level.
I seen there was one couple. It was a television program, and I thought that was really wise, and it was something. I'm not saying I'm going to incorporate it, but it just seemed wise. Her and her husband go to counseling like every 6 months. Just to, they said it's just like a car checkup.
Okay.
It's just to see, they don't go to counseling when things have gotten bad.
Yep.
They go twice a year. If it's a little rocky, they may go every quarter or how many times they need. But even if things are going well, they go twice a year or every quarter just for a checkup to make sure they're on the, they're still on the right page. They're both being real honest with each other. And I thought that was really something very positive.
I mean, counseling by the African American standards is a negative.
Not all African Americans, but as a culture, yes.
I didn't say all.
And can I interject this, please?
Go ahead.
I love you, pastors. I love you. I love people who have taken the vow to be good ministers. But I just want to say this. You could be called to the ministry and not called to counseling.
Get that thing.
Okay.
Yes, and here even me.
Sometimes you need to send people to a professional.
No, and even me. So don't get me wrong. And she's 100% right. I'm licensed, ordained, the whole nine. So yeah, when I first got in, I was a church counselor, and I thought ministry license had it all. Nope.
Even amongst the professionals, you got to choose the right one.
Right. And so that was like 17 years ago. I realized just because I was licensed or ordained, no, I need professional education to learn how to counsel people. And so, yeah, you're right. Get a counseling, not when it's in the bad situation, but when it's getting ready, when you're feeling a little uncomfortable in this situation. The soda bottle theory is you shake it and then you shake it and shake it, and all of a sudden you take the top off, it explodes. Don't wait until it's like you're getting ready to take the top off so it can explode. As soon as you feel the pressure build, go find a qualified and professional counselor to talk it out, to get some advice, how to work certain things out, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay.
So back to forgiveness.